Hi, this is Anita Sierra, and today I'm going to talk about police stress that you can find on chapter 6. So we know that the police officer position is not an easy job. Um, Police officers are always under too much stress and situations that they are risking their lives. Most of the time, they they do overtime for because of their job. We know that officers are always aware of any call for emergency. So sometimes police officers can only work 8 hours, 10 hours, 2 hours depending on their schedule. But there is always most of the time that there is an emergency almost at the end of their schedule. So that's some of the reasons why police officers suffer a stress. Police officers must be aware and prepared to respond to any emergency. Police officers are almost all the time under stress and intense situations which generate stress, and the stress response takes its toll on officer physical and mental state. This means that the stress does not affect only mentally or psychological to police officer, but also physical. What is stress? Well, definition of stress is the body reaction to internal or external stimuli that upset the body normal state. A stimulus that causes stress, stressor can be physical, mental, or emotional, how I said before. It is this definition fight or flight response, where the body reacts to a highly stressful situation in which it is generating prepared for extraordinary physical exertion. So for this, the liver prepares the body and the organisms to respond to very intense situation for stress. But sometimes the liver, after too much stress that you're facing, like for example, police officers start not working as well, and they can be resulting in kidney heartbeat or respiration or the increase of blood pressure or muscle tension. Also, some of the symptoms are these. They can have headaches, upset stomach, or irritability. The nature of stress and policy. How I said before, stress does not only affect physical or emotional, it also affects psychological to police officers. Physical police officers that suffer from stress can give way because their organism not working as well. Emotional because they must suffer of anxiety or sometimes they even suffer of depression or irritability. And psychological, well, they there are some signs that you even a regular person, a normal person, do not know how to control a situation. And if you can imagine how police officers do every day to respond to emergencies, you will notice that it is not easy. Uh, the stress, the bad part of the stress is that it doesn't only affects the police officer, but also it affects their family. Police officers can, how I say, have some emotional or psychological problems. When returning back to their home, you will be facing these problems, trying to control them or some kind of to finish with them, and they start yelling, screaming to their children or their spouses or some of the cases they're having some domestic violence by from police officers to their families. Also, it's not only the family but also the partners or the fellows at the police department. Um, yes, the community because I would say police officers is are working always with the community. The stress is can be noticed in their behavior or the way they are doing their work. Also, the stress is reason in police officer position or job is the higher job position that has more rates with of divorce and suicide. These problems of stress lead police officers to divorce because they are bringing their problems to their houses. Especially they don't know how can they live with these problems. Um, some of the causes of stress are external stress effects, which are responding to gunshots. For example, the external stress are those activities or obligations and responsibilities police officer has for the job position. Organizational stress, such as constant adjustment to changing hours of duty or trying to fit a new schedule. Um, Personal stress, difficulties in getting along with officers, and operational stress, which are officers' daily confrontation with the tragedies of urban life. That the with this means that they had to deal with every every day they had to deal with criminals. And some of the effects of stress on police officers can lead to silence, which is very argued by the community. Also, emotional detachment, reduce efficiency in the police job. Also, excessive aggressiveness, which is also very noticed in nowadays social media. Alcoholism or other substance abuse problems. The first of these substance abuse is alcoholism, marital or other family problems, how I say divorce, domestic violence. Also, these stress can lead police officers to face post-traumatic stress disorder. Um, Also, they lead to illnesses or diseases as heart attacks, ulcers, or gain weight. Also, finally, the most traumatic effect of stress in police officers is suicide. Um, Police departments of just or departments of justice assist police officers to deal with the stress of operating 24/7 online services for them for anytime they need help. Also, there is the organization CAPOPA, organization providing for assistance, which assists police officers to address the problem of police stress and suicide. Also, some police departments has health and fitness programs where they can exercise or visit the doctors or talk with someone, you know, the problems, because even your spouse cannot understand your position, your problems, or what you see every day, you know, in police function, you know. And that's it for my presentation. This is a reference, which is my book, my mindset book. That's it for today. Thank you.